In this section, we're going to go over how to make a bootable USB device to load our operating system. The first thing you want to do is get a USB device that has enough space to hold an operating system. Most operating systems are 4 gigabytes, so in this case, the 8 gigabyte USB we got should be sufficient. First, you want to go to the command prompt, which can be found under All Programs, Accessories, and Command Prompt. Right-click and push Run as Administrator. When typing basic code, you want to make sure to get all of your letters exactly right, otherwise it won't work. The first thing we want to do is type disk part to enter the disk part menu. Then we'll type list disk, which will give us a list of all the disks on the computer. Disk 0 is usually the main disk with the OS on it. We can tell that disk 1 is our USB device because it has 7 gigabytes of space. The next thing we want to do is type select disk 1, since it will be the disk we're using in this case. After that, we want to type clean. Then we want to type create partition primary. After that, we'll type select partition 1. Then we'll type active. Afterwards, we'll type format fs ntfs. FS stands for file system. This takes a rather long time. In this case, it took nearly an hour to format 8 gigabytes of space. After it's done, we want to type assign, and after it registers, we'll type exit to leave the disk part menu. Once we're back to the basic command prompt menu, we want to type cd boot. In this case, I have an ISO of the operating system loaded under disk E. If you're using the real disk, most computers use disk drive D, but in this case we're using disk E. We want to enter the boot folder and find the application boot section. So type boot /bootsect.exe/NT60, and we're sending it to our removable disk F, which is our USB. It took me several times to get this right, so you may want to try several variables. But what we're trying to do is access the executable under the boot folder and transfer it to the removable drive, which we just formatted. Once this has been successfully completed, then we'll want to select and transfer all the files from the ISO or the CD disk onto the flash drive. And this will complete the creation of a bootable USB device. If you decide to change your mind and you want to get your USB back to its ordinary removable flash drive status, then you right-click on the disk and go down to Format. In this case, I used a FAT32 disk, so I'm going to change it back from NTSF to FAT32. Setting also the default allocation file size. And giving it a volume label to easily identify it when I plug it into my computer.